YouTube team, keep it clean. What's going on? It's Ingraven here with another video, and in this video, it is halftime with the game that we're watching right now between the Ravens and the Chargers. And this game, it's going both like good and bad at the same time. We got some stuff that we should definitely improve on, like scoring touchdowns. But the defense, like I said, man, I knew that defense was gonna come out hot. I knew they were gonna come out hot, and they've been hot all game long. Let me just make sure this thing gets shared out to everybody. This game is going good. Ravens are controlling the game, man. Ravens are controlling the game, and it's their type of game, man. It's their type of game, and this is exactly how we want it to go. This is exactly how we want it to go. We need to continue to control the game, continue to control the clock. Defense, keep playing lights out like y'all have been. Thank you so much for that, by the way. But we gotta convert, man. We gotta score touchdowns and not field goals. We need touchdowns. Touchdowns can put this thing away. We get and the aggressiveness has been up and down in this game. Earlier, when they went for it on the fourth down, I was like kind of 50-50. I wasn't like totally against it, but I definitely wasn't totally for it. I feel like Harbaugh I was leaning more on the side he should have took the points because the defense has been playing so good. But at the same time, I understand the risk or the reward, the high risk, high reward type of thing. Because if you get a touchdown, it's like, oh, it's 10-3 now. But your defense has been playing phenomenally. And yeah, you would have the Chargers backed up on their own 3-yard line. But at the same time, you got to take your points, man, because like one of my guys was saying, I think it was Rob, he was saying that he's all too familiar. No, not Rob, it was somebody else too. But Rob mentioned it too, how we're all too familiar when in some of these games when we don't take the points and we end up losing by like 1 or 2 points at the end of the game. Now, that's not going to happen tonight because I know Ravens are going to close, they're going to finish, they're going to execute properly. But you gotta take your points, man. So our offense has been moving. We've been moving, but then at the very end, poof, we end up collapsing. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson real quick. For the most part, all his throws have been on point. But him and John Brown still seem to be a little bit out of sync, but they seem to be a little bit closer. They getting there. They are getting there. One of the routes to John Brown, where John Brown was running to the sidelines, Lamar threw it short, and there was another one. Oh, the touchdown. He overthrew him, but I was so glad that Lamar overthrew him on that. It was in the first quarter when John Brown had like sort of split the two defenders. They were right there with him, but I was glad Lamar overthrew him because if he would have underthrew him, then there would have been an interception. And then to Crabtree. Wow, Crabtree, you got to hold on to that ball, man. You got to hold on to that ball. You got to hold on to that ball. We had Lamar Jackson threw a touchdown. Crabtree dropped it. Well, he let the defender just get it out of there. No, he dropped that first one. He dropped the first one. Then that pass on the sidelines, Crabtree caught it. Then at the last second, he let the defender rip it out, man. Crabtree got to man up for this game. Snead has not been getting involved, surprisingly. Hayden Hurst made a very nice catch, either late in the first or early in the second, that it was a big first down. But for the most part, Lamar he's been on point with his passes. One thing real quick, speaking of being aggressive, these dudes, you tell me, you let me know if any of y'all remember in a game when the Ravens are up 6-3 going into the half with 40 seconds left. Please let me know, because my memory may not be serving me best right now, but please let me know if you have ever, or even if you have, when the last time you seen the Ravens actually go for it, try to move the ball with 40 seconds left up at halftime. When have we ever done that? I love that. I love that they did that. Because at first, on that very first play, I thought that when Lamar threw an incompletion to Kenneth Dixon, it was a little off. That was another one of the passes that he missed on. But when Lamar Jackson threw that pass to Kenneth Dixon, threw it short and missed him, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're just probably gonna run out the clock right now. They ain't gonna do nothing no more. They ain't messing with it. So I was like, okay, cool, let's move on. So then they still kept throwing, and I was like, what? When I saw Lamar drop back, I couldn't believe it. But I absolutely loved it because it shows that despite how the offensive game is going, because we're moving the ball, we're just not finishing. But it showed that the Ravens are really trying and they really putting their hearts on the line in this game. They went for it on fourth down twice in this game. One of them was at the 3-yard line. The other one was at like the 40-yard line or something, or the 50. I forgot exactly where it was. They got that one, but they didn't get that first one. But it's fine. It's fine. Defense, they've been playing lights out. I know Tony Jefferson had the two. Tony Jefferson with the boneheaded move. When he went for that hit, even though it was a soft hit, it was a good call. Be straight up. Whether you're a Ravens fan or not, be straight up. It was a good call. Because had it been one of our players, I know we would have been screaming and cheering like, hey, man, throw that flag, throw that flag. That was a good call. The pass interference, the offensive pass interference that Brandon Carr got, well, they called it, who was it? Keenan Allen, I think? Or was it Mike Williams? I forgot who it was. But the offensive pass interference that they called on the Chargers against Brandon Carr, it was a terrible call. Terrible, 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 terrible call. Again, be straight up with yourself. Don't lie to yourself just because you're a Ravens fan. Be straight up. It was a terrible, terrible call against the Chargers. Brandon Carr just slipped and the hands just, it was whatever. The offensive pass interference on Michael Crabtree. That call, that was a good one. Even though Lamar overthrew him, that was a good call. What else? The one on Tony Jefferson, the pass interference on Tony Jefferson. At first, when I first saw it, when they showed it live, I was like, what? What kind of call is that? But then they showed the replay, and he was holding him a little bit when the pass was going towards him. So that was a good call as well. The Chargers, they had gotten a first down on some big play. And first they got a first down on the offensive pass interference on a bad call. That got taken out. Then they got another big play, and it was another penalty, but it was an illegal formation because Keenan Allen wasn't set. That was a good call. Then later on, they got the holding call on another third down that they had just converted. And during that play, I was calling hold. I was like, holding. And I'm like, oh, man, the ref's really not calling that one. Then they showed that replay, and they threw the flag, and they showed the replay. The dude was like choking Matthew Judon. That was a good call, too. There was a call that the Chargers that went against. Did it go against the Chargers? And it was a bad. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's one that I'm missing. I feel like it's one that I'm missing. Yeah, it could be 28-3. We could be like up super big right now. We should be up super big right now, but we're not finishing. That's the problem. We're not finishing. Looks like there was a 3rd and goal where the Ravens played it safe. They just ran the ball. Justin Tucker. Somebody said, what do you think about Justin Tucker and the 2 missed field goals? Well, one of them, Chargers, first off, somebody had tweeted me during the game. They said that Roger Goodell really approved this stadium and really approved this field because the field is absolutely disgusting. It's almost as bad as the Raiders field. It might be actually worse. The field is so bad. The conditions are so bad, and it's hurting both teams. Both teams are slipping. Both teams are just not catching their footing. It's hurting both teams, and it actually messed up Gus Edwards' record because Gus Edwards hadn't had any runs where he lost yards this whole time, but now he got his very first loss of yards because of the field because he slipped. But the field is bad. But back to Justin Tucker, the fact that I was scared when they went for the field goal, I was for sure that he was going to make it because you know how whenever you're going for a field goal and the opposing team calls a timeout and you miss it, the field goal kickers always make it on that second kick. Hey, appreciate that, QC. The field goal makers always make it on that second kick. When they get the second try, they always make it. So I was like, oh, yeah, JT about to make it. But I did get a little scared. And the reason I got scared is because Derwin James was back there. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, this dude is from Florida. He went to Florida State. So that means that dude got some playmaking ability, and he's quick with the ball, and he's smart with the ball. So I was worried, like, man, if Justin Tucker kicks it short, then Derwin James is going to have a chance to make a return. But Mark Andrews made a heck of a dive at Derwin James that kind of slipped him up. And then the Ravens swarmed on him and made the tackle. The defense has been making solid tackles for the most part in this game. They have had some times where they slipped up, but for the most part, they've been making very, very good tackles. We haven't got to we did. No. Oh, real quick. The very first play of the game, Brandon Carr. Shout out to Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr, and this dude used to play for the Chargers too. I don't think nobody's talking about that. But with Brandon Carr, I thought when the play was live, Brandon Carr was behind, was it Keenan Allen or another receiver? I forgot. Either way, Brandon Carr was behind the receiver, and Phillip Rivers threw it, and Brandon Carr sort of slipped, and I was like, oh, gosh, no, please, no, please, no. And I know a lot of y'all are going through the same thing, too. I already know. When he slipped, I said, oh, no, not already. Please, no. Please, this is not what we need. But he slipped, he got back up, and he jumped back up, and, oh, yeah, he did play for the Chiefs. Okay. Oh, he played for the Chiefs. He ain't played for I could have swore he played for the Chargers. I really thought he did. Anyway, regardless, LaDainian Tomlinson was quiet on the halftime report. Oh, good. We need to keep him quiet on the post-game show too. But anyway, he recovered. He recovered his footing, and again, probably the bad field. And that play, we probably actually benefited because it's possible that Brandon Carr could have overran it. Well, I mean, we'll never know, though. But I'm glad we don't know because he got the pick. That dude came through. He manned up, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. So, man, it was beast, man. And that's how I felt. Like I said, I felt like the defense was just going to come out hot. I felt like the defense was going to come out ready. Well, hot and ready, like Little Caesar's Pizza. Shout out to him. Well, he ain't got no promotions, though. Anyway. The defense has been doing their thing. Offense, again, like I said, we just got to finish. Gus Edwards been breaking some big runs. KD been making some beast runs, but we got to finish. We got to finish. Lamar got to get on point with that ball. And again, like I said, in the first half, for the most part, he pretty much was for the most part. He did have some times where he did miss some receivers. Like I said, the John Brown, 2 passes to John Brown, one to Crabtree in the end zone for the touchdown. But they got to get back on it. This team, I'm loving what I'm seeing from them. I'm loving the fact that they're moving the ball. They still controlling the clock, and the defense is doing everything that they need to do to keep Phillip Rivers out of it. And the only reason that Phillip Rivers and that Chargers offense have got that field goal was the penalties, the two bad penalties on Tony Jefferson. So we just need to make sure we don't lose the mental part of the game, because that drive, that's where Tony Jefferson was losing the mental part of the game. So anyway, team, keep it clean. I see a lot of y'all telling me the game is coming back on, or it's on right now. I will see you guys after this game. Ravens, finish the job.